very close to the centre line for Jay Upton. I thought Matheson was going to get it back. Comes out with the light, the flames up. I thought Layton was going to do it for a minute then, but it will be that man, Gavin Spann. Welcome again to Sydney Dragway. We're at the Santo Summer Thunder, and on today's show we've got Top Bike, those top fuel two-wheeled monsters. In addition, we've got the finals of our sportsman categories. Now, Top Bike, what a topsy-turvy season we're seeing. It all started up in Darwin at their Nitro up north. Jay Upton absolutely dominated that event. But since then, it's been anyone's affair. Upton's clinging on to a slender lead. He's down in the pits with Matt Kavanagh now.
Alongside me is Jay Upton, the current points leader in Top Bike here in the 400 Thunder. Jay, welcome back to Sydney.
Thank you. Great to be here. As I said yesterday, we get treated like it's our home track here, so I'm always pleased to be here.
And how does it feel to be leading the championship after the first two rounds?
Obviously, that's a great start. We didn't have a very good race here last time out, which let a couple of people catch up. Not in a condescending way, but it's probably a good thing because it keeps the points a bit more even. Obviously, we need to do well today. You know, we're doing our damnedest to get down the track. I see Chris just went 6:18 on the test lap, so he set the tone for the day. We've been experimenting with some new stuff. We had a great success last night, I think, and I'm pretty sure we're going to go fast today.
One man who has not had the ideal start to this 400 Thunder season is the reigning champion in Top Bike, Chris Matheson. Chris, last time out at Sydney Dragway, it wasn't exactly what you were after, with a few problems, not necessarily with the bike, but with yourself.
Yeah, just old and worn out, and the back gave up, so had to pull the pin after the first pass. Yeah, popped a couple of discs and pinched a nerve, so turned to jelly down the other end of the track and started crying and sobbing, and so that was it for me for the weekend. So I've been basically, ever since I got home, been doing hydro, physio and Pilates and all that sort of stuff, trying to get a bit of core strength back into my back. So it's not perfect, but it's at least I can ride it. So
it shows you how physical these motorcycles are. To get down the racetrack, you really do have to have the body right as well as the bike.
Yeah, probably body's better to have right than the bike. You know, the bike's nuts and bolts, but yeah, you got to have your head in the right spot, and you know, physically you got to be there. And the riding positions, they're just all wrong. So, you know, as soon as you hit some G's at the line, you know, all your bones are being pushed because, you know, we're pulling nearly 4G at the hit. Then you go the opposite way when you brake, so all your bones, and when you get old, everything's just like a big bag of custard inside. So it's just not meant to do.
Well, let's have a look at those points. Jay Upton on 168. It's been Gavin Spann, the consistent guy that keeps challenging. Adam Layton on 84. Chris Matheson has a long way to make up. Then it's Les Holden, Tony Wood and Michael Dwinger. Here at the Santo Summer Thunder, we'll be running the 400 Thunder 3-round all-run system. So all of the riders will come out and contest 2 rounds of racing. The top 2 point scorers will contest the championship final. The others will run round 3 for some bonus points towards their points tally. That can be extremely important. Now, I mentioned him before, Gavin Spann. He has been nice and consistent and really looks to be in a position to start the challenge, Mark.
He is, and he's really liked Sydney Dragway this season as well, getting the win down here on the bike. And these guys, as you said, they have been consistent. They haven't got the power of, say, the likes of Matheson and Upton, but that gives them a slight advantage because they don't tend to overpower the racetrack as often as those other teams. So they get from the start line to the finish line very consistent. and they're quick as well in that 6-second zone for Gavin Spann. Now, he's got a bit of a long routine on this bike, so it's a big burnout past the start finish line. They don't have reverse. His crew guy gets a little bit of a workout pushing this bike back, and he'll be taking on the Harley of Les Holden now, who's starting his procedure a lot shorter, sharper burnout. So he waits, doesn't let the bike overheat back there in the fire-up area before he gets it rolling, and he's on track now.
Yeah, the V-twin of Les Holden. A fairly simple top bike.
It is. It's a carbureted bike as well on nitro, so he's down on power as well. He's working on the same theory as Gavin Spann on that bike, so he wants a consistent bike, and then he knows he hasn't got the horsepower of those other bikes, so he's hoping they make a mistake and he can grab that opportunity and get the win.
Well, that's one thing about top bike. It is often unpredictable. First race of round one. Gavin Spann, he gave away a bit of a hole shot, but does it easy. A 7:04, 243 kilometres an hour on the Noodle Box bike. That is some more championship points for him.
Yeah, we go on board with Gavin Spann here. There was a hole shot in the lane beside him. They were side by side at 60 foot. You can see Gavin Spann, he dropped a cylinder there just after half track, so that was raw fuel come out of the exhaust pipe there, so he's lost a lot of horsepower on that bike. So basically something's happened there inside the tune-up. It's lost spark, so the fuel is not burning, so it starts to shoot out that pipe and effectively loses 1/4 of the horsepower of the bike, 25% horsepower, depending on if it's one cylinder or two cylinders that he's dropped there.
Still ran 7.0 seconds, still picks up 20 championship points for the win, and we'll have to wait and see how many elapsed time points, because the quickest ET of the field gets 8, then it's 7.6543 right down the ladder, so to speak.
Rod Barchet on his nitrous bike there moving forward. He'll be taking on the White Knight of Jay Upton here on screen. He's about to go through his procedure on this bike. He's got another big burnout as well, like Chris Matheson.
Great to see Upton across from Western Australia, contesting all the rounds of the 400 Thunder Top Bike Series. Got some new sponsorship on board from WPA Ground Engineering Tools and Specialty Equipment Express.
Yeah, Barchet there. You can see the nitrous purge there just on that bike. Another one of those variety of combinations we have in top fuel motorcycle here in the 400 Thunder Series.
Well, these bikes are very light compared to something like Jay Upton's Monster. That thing's a supercharged, fuel-injected, 4-cylinder, two-wheel top fuel bike. That's what it comes down to. They run a lot of the same technology you'll see in a top fuel dragster, but they apply it to two wheels. The rear one, massively wide.
See raw fuel out of the back of Jay Upton's bike. He's off the throttle early. Still goes through for a win. Goes 7.17, 221 kilometres per hour. He gets the win. Barchet had issues very early on in the pass, but that is a great pass for Jay Upton after all the dramas we've seen at the last event. They got past that shake zone, and that was on a good number. We see the replay. Barchet got out. I can't see what actually happened there. He launched well, but it was all Jay Upton.
Yeah, Barchet up on the wheelie bar all the way through first, second gear, and then, something just went away. And, well, what did go away was Jay Upton. He was flying at half track, and then, as you say, let's see the onboard.
See the raw, look at that raw fuel as it drops the cylinders, loses spark there inside the combustion, and he has to get off of it early there, rolls through.
Well, it may have even been a loss of traction that took the load off the engine. We won't know, but Doug Green, the crew chief's down with Rusty Gregory.
Yeah, guys, down here with Doug Green from Jay Upton's crew, mate. Got through the 330-foot zone. That's been a problem area for you for the last couple of runs here at Sydney, so that's got to give you a little bit of confidence, even though it didn't go to the finish line.
Yeah, no, that's mint, Rusty. We've really been struggling with that tyre shake issue, and we've been chatting to a few of our West Australian friends and other races as well, and that's pretty cool. That's I think that's on. I think we're in for a bit of a treat later on.
It's not exactly super quick, but it's in the realms of where you want to be.
Oh, exactly, and we all know the bike's got squillions of power. We just need to get the power down to the track, and we're trying to slow it down in that midpoint, like the fuel cars and all that do, without shaking too hard, without losing too much speed, and we got that now, and we're on our way of going to the end.
Mate, good job today, good job, and Matt Kavanagh is down at the top end of the racetrack.
Yeah, Gavin Spann here. Your first run down the track this weekend, and you got yourself a win in round one.
Yeah, no, it was great. I had to get out of it. It was going to the wall on the right-hand side, so I knew I had Les. I knew I had a little bit on him. So, but anyway, we got to the win line first, so awesome. So carry on from here.
Yeah, good luck in round 2.
Thank you.
We've got Jay Upton down here as well. Jay, you just got it off. We'll have a quick chat with you. Yeah. Nice win there.
Yeah, absolutely. That seems like we're going in the right direction. You know, it's a little bit lazy late. Had to get out of it. It was a drop in cylinders. But I think we got through that shake, which is what we've been trying to do for a couple of laps here.
Oh, well, good. That's good news. Good luck in round 2.
Well, we're pretty happy. I think round 2 will be good.
Round 2, he's looking forward to it with his squillions of horsepower. I mean, quite realistically, you can't put one of these on a dyno and check it. They run some calcs though, and we're talking around 2,000 horsepower.
Yeah, that's it. These bikes are just crazy, and what they have to do on the bikes as well. As we heard from Chris Matheson on screen before this pass, like he's talking about he had that back injury and the G-forces on his body as well. And you can see these guys, how they ride those bikes down track. Like, they haven't got a roll cage around them. They're not strapped in. Like, they're using their entire body, fighting the G-forces, fighting these bikes, trying to steer it down the track. So there's a lot of force in that on the likes of Chris Matheson trying to get these bikes down.
Now we see Adam Layton climbing on board the APL Performance and Gulf Western Oil Harley-Davidson fuel-injected nitro-burning V-twin. Similar to what we saw before, his burnout procedure is a lot shorter than the big multi-cylinder bikes. So he fires up later, does a relatively short burnout and pulls up before the finish line.
And it's all about just keeping the heat away from that engine. They want to try and keep it cool, get into stage, control that temperature, where Matheson doesn't have as much of a problem with that as Layton does on the Harley.
Yeah, Matho now into pre-stage, running with assistance from Rocket Industries, Kitten Products, etc., CRC.
Yeah, Matheson went 6.18 in testing on this bike earlier today.
On off the throttle for Matheson. I thought he was gone. Adam Layton with a nice strong 7.03, but Matheson, well, he dropped behind and then he came back a 6.60 after all of that.
Well, he had a bit of shake on the launch too for Matheson. We're on board with Adam Layton. Adam Layton's pass, that's his second quickest pass at top bike in round 1, but he gets a loss here. You can see him working around the bike, and then Matheson streaks away for the win. The Gulf Western Oil Harley of Layton, though, he can take away. He got some bonus points for the second quickest pass of the round, but it wasn't to be as Matheson took that multi-cylinder bike through across the finish line for the win.
Very untidy about there. You see the advantage that Layton has got, but then the top-end speed of that Nitro Voodoo bike just came on so strong. Oh, a little bit of a get out of jail in this round 1 of Top Bike. Let's go down to the start line and Rusty Gregory.
Yeah, look, I guess not exactly what Chris Matheson would have been after, but nonetheless 6-0, I should say. It puts points in the banks, and that's what's important for you guys at the moment, Graham.
Yeah, we got the win for the round, so that's what counts this stage of the game, yeah. So we spun the tyre out there a bit further out, so we might have to pull a bit of power out of it.
Got a little bit greedy after that 6.18 this morning?
Well, we didn't change it from that, so whether the track's gone off a little bit or the weather or what, so... But the 6-1 was good this morning.
Absolutely, that put a smile on your face, mate. Congratulations. That's a win, more points in the bank, and that's a good job for you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Rusty.
Chris Matheson, he's a very busy man. They're already trying to get the bike back. He wants to win here this weekend. 6.60, backs up that 6.18. So he is the man to beat this weekend in Top Bike. You can see the crew already packing up. They want to get back out here for round 2, take some more points.
Well, we saw it. They had a problem there with some tyre shake. They'll want to put their heads down, get into the data and see what they can do. Well, what they have done, though, top points. 28 points for Chris Matheson, 26 for Gavin Spann, Jay Upton with 25, Adam Layton, 5 lose points, but 7 big bonus points for the second quickest ET of the round. Does him well. Les Holden and Rod Barchet pick up 9 and 8 respectively. We're going to be back with all of the round 2 action straight after the break. In the world of 400 Thunder professional drag racing, the wildest vehicles for my money are actually the top bikes. Now this category for motorcycles is wide open. Most of the classes are very restricted with their rules. With Top Bike, well, we've got 4-cylinder supercharged fuel-injected nitro-burning bikes, We've got V-twin Harleys, you can have turbocharged bikes, you can have nitrous oxide. Basically, as long as it's got 2 wheels and a motorcycle engine, you can run whatever you like, you just got to make it go fast. At the pinnacle of the top bike field are the multi-cylinder, supercharged, fuel-injected, nitro-burning monsters, ridden by the likes of Chris Matheson, Jay Upton and Gavin Spann this weekend. Producing 2,000 horsepower, maybe even more, these incredible machines have ample power to run in the 5-second zone on a perfect pass. But that's the catch. They are always right on the limit and often overstep that fine line between sticking to the track or wheel spinning. The other problem is that they are big and very heavy, making them quite hard to stop from the near 400 kilometres an hour across the finish line, even with the parachute. That's why we often see riders shut the bikes off before the finish line to give themselves more room to pull up. Then we've got the V-twins, loosely based on Harley-Davidson engines. While all of these also run nitromethane fuel, there are only a couple of supercharged examples anywhere around the world. Most rely just on fuel injection and the explosive nature of that nitro fuel. While not making as much horsepower, they are much lighter, which makes them very quick over the first half of the racetrack. We've seen low 6-second times in Australia, while in Europe they've broken through that magic 5-second barrier quite recently. There are also other forms of power enhancement. Turbocharger technology is advancing in leaps and bounds, and some riders are showing this form of boost has incredible potential which may yet challenge the supercharged bikes. Finally, we also see nitrous oxide injection used in the top bike category. These bikes are generally the lightest of them all and can be extremely reliable. Anytime one of the leading riders line up against a nitrous bike, they know they can't afford any slip-ups or the laughing gas in the other lane is going to get them. So there you have it. It's a category of racing where virtually anything goes, as long as it has 2 wheels and a motorcycle-based engine.
Thanks for that, Rob. That was a really insightful piece to Top Bike, and it's probably one of the reasons why it's one of my favourite classes in the 400 Thunder Championship. You've got so many variables there within the class, and it's unrestricted as well. Those turbos, nitro, fuel-injected, superchargers, carburetted bikes, and you've got all those potential designs all coming together, with that one goal in mind to get the winner's trophy, those gold Christmas trees, and also, of course, that first 5-second pass as well. Well, Matt has caught up with one of these crazy riders on the Nitro Harley, Adam Layton.
I'm here with Adam Layton. He's got the second lowest ET after round 1 of racing in Top Bike here at the Santo Summer Thunder. How good is it to go that fast to 7-0?
Oh, look, it's really good. It was good to race against Chris, and I had him licked like 3:30, no trouble, and I should have had another stab at it. The bike, I've just been testing this new fuel system, and I finally got it working, and I've got some confidence back in myself and the bike. But yeah, I was behind that bike there. I was a passenger, and next run I'll be on top of it, and I'll be riding that thing like a bull.
You've only been racing these bikes for a few years now. What does it take to get on top of one of these bikes and ride it all the way down?
Oh, look, you can think about it all week and all that sort of stuff, and then what I do is just get to race day, chuck all the thoughts and reasons why I shouldn't, and just get on it.
And who are some of the sponsors you got on board that are helping you get down this journey?
Oh, look, I got GoPro, which is a big one. Hare and Forbes, amazing company. I make all the parts of their machines. The mighty Gulf Western Oils, and of course APL Performance and my staff. APL Performance Bikes is, this is really hard work, and we're doing really well. So I'm really happy.
Yeah, impressive ride, and good luck with the rest of the weekend.
Thank you.
Top Bike round 2 coming up at Sydney Dragway, Santo's Summer Thunder. Got a nice crowd in on the mound as well. The kids are absolutely loving it. There's no question about that. Must be a couple of Adam Layton fans there, I'd say.
The Gulf Western Oil shirts there. Now on board, Jay Upton, the White Knight. This bike has been improving so far this weekend on what his last performance here at Sydney Dragway. Now this bike has actually got a prototype slick from Hoosier that's designed specifically for top fuel motorcycle racing. So these guys have got a lot of custom designed elements to this bike, and the rear slick is just another one of those elements now on this top bike with all the custom internal components of the engine and the bike itself to the body. Jay Upton, these guys are, really pushing that Aussie-made performance here on this bike.
Well, that's the whole thing about Top Bike. These guys are pioneers. They're always developing something new. It's not just a case of buy the parts off the shelf. Really do have to explore your own path, so to speak.
Well, even the clutch management system on the bike for Jay Upton as well, that's all their own design, their own everything, they sit there and work it all out in the workshop, come up with what they think will help get this bike going into that 5-second zone and then apply it to the track. So essentially they're testing and racing at the same time on these bikes.
And what they're doing also is being tested by the weather here at the Summer Thunder. They were out yesterday in the test sessions and it was over 40 degrees. In round one it was around 30 degrees. Now it's cooled off into the high 20s, but the humidity's changed. There's a fair bit of humidity in the air, a bit of overcast above. The track temperature will be different. It's all curveballs for people like Jay Upton and Adam Layton.
You're right there, and you can see Adam Layton coming forward. Now this bike for Adam Layton's 196 cubic inches nitro Harley power here.
Yeah, you never talk in CCs with a Harley Davidson. They don't know what CCs are. You've got to quote them in cubic inches.
All custom fuel system on this bike as well for Layton. The guys over there at APL Performance Bikes getting this bike together. Layton's left too early, left the cherry on the tree.
And Jay Upton with trouble, so he's got to get out of jail.
It looks like, just in Upton's lane, I could see it looked like the supercharger belt back up the start line. So
it's either a supercharger belt or a drive belt, I guess, of some sort. Have a look at here for Adam Layton. He left way too soon and gets a red light, instant disqualification, and throws away what would have been a pretty easy win.
I'll tell you what, Layton's pass to half track was 4.34 seconds, so that is a 6-second pass every day of the week if he can keep that lit to the finish line. You can say Layton wasn't going to die wondering. He chopped that tree, but everything there from Upton on the bike.
I think you're right, it was supercharger belt. How do I think that? Because the moment it happened, the GoPro on the back was covered in raw fuel.
Yeah, let's have a look here. You can see the raw fuel coming out, and there's the belt just coming out from behind the bike.
So Matt's down there with Jay Upton.
Yeah, I'm down here with Jay Upton. It's probably not the way you wanted to win, but you have got the 20 points, and you got a chance of going to the finals.
Yeah, I'd say we won't be. I'd say we weren't fastest in the last round, and we weren't faster in this round, so I'd say we won't be in the final, but we'll take the win. I think it lost the blower belt about 300 feet, or maybe even earlier. But we had an experiment on and, I don't know, didn't shake.
Well, good luck. Back to you guys in the commentary box.
Thanks, Matt. You never say never until the points are tabulated, that's for sure.
Might get lucky.
How unlucky is Layton, though, in the background there? Another quick pass, but he doesn't get the win points.
There is Gavin Spann on the noodle box bike down from Queensland. You see the plastic fuel drum on top of the bike. That's just to fire it up, probably on methanol fuel. Then the exhaust note changed as he turned it across to nitro.
The old nitro. That's what makes all the horsepower on these bikes.
And that very distinctive cackle in the exhaust.
The crowd are loving the bikes. These guys are just, every time I watch a guy on a top bike, there's something wrong in your head. Why do you get on a machine like this? At least the guys in Top Fuel Dragster, they've got the roll cage, they've got the 6-point harness around them, but these guys on top bikes are just another breed.
Oh, they absolutely live for it. Gavin Spann, of course, he's raced in pro bike many years ago, then put nitrous oxide on that, stretched the wheelbase a bit and went into top bike and had success with a nitrous oxide injected combination. Then had a number of years out of the sport, purchased this one, and he's come back and absolutely loving his top fuel bike racing. And it's Les Holden about to come forward in, as you say, his carburetted Harley Davidson nitro burning bike.
Yeah, only 120 cubic inches on board for a Les Holden on this bike. We saw Layton's bike was 196 cubic inches. It's So he's a little bit down on everything there, but in the carburetors, it's a highly modified carburetor to maximise the air and fuel that he can get into this engine. Has run a personal best of 7.50 seconds. Went 760 in round 1, so he's not too far off that. And if Gavin Spann has any sort of hiccups beside him, he's looking there to take advantage.
Well, Spann is well placed in the championship. Number 2 at the moment, looking to close the gap a little bit on Jay Upton. And if he can force Upton out of the final, that will do great things for his points.
Well, Holden got out first.
But look at the horsepower for Gavin Spann. He gets it, a 700, offered early, only 257 kilometres an hour, gets the win points. Les Holden, nice straight pass, did the right thing with a whole shot, gave himself every chance, but just not quite enough power to match the noodle box bike.
Yeah, we're on board here with Gavin Spann. He's got power, nothing, got mixed cylinders, dropping cylinders there again. So he had to button it off, but he was already that far ahead. It didn't matter, 7.00, so his quickest pass of the weekend. I'm not too sure what happened with Holden though. It looked like he was under power and he had to get off of it and roll through as well. So
we see here Gavin Spann. The on-board shot was fantastic to show him moving his weight around the bike to keep it straight. It's not all about steering the handlebars. It's all about weight distribution on these bikes, and the head-on shot is quite explicit as well. As we'll go down to the start line with Rusty.
Absolutely, down here with Paul McLeod from the Noodle Box team, mate. 700, that puts you guys into the final.
Oh, fantastic. We won here 2 months ago, so yeah, to get 2 out of 2 would be fantastic.
3-round format's a little bit different, requires a little bit of a different approach, but seems to be working for you either way at the moment.
Well, we're all golfers and we're just playing match play, that's all it is.
That's it, play the game, that's what it's about.
Yeah, thanks, Rusty.
Yeah, Gavin Spann, you've secured your spot in the final. That's 2 finals from 2 rounds here at Sydney.
Yeah, it's good. Sydney's a great hunting ground for me, so yeah, it's really good. Okay, I probably didn't go fast like I probably wanted to, but it doesn't matter. Win's a win. Anyway, we're into the final, so we'll see. Probably Matho, is it?
Well, he's actually had to be shut down because we've got a little bit of rain coming in here. It's very, very light if you can feel it. Probably not with your leathers on, but
I'm sweating.
He's warm under all those leathers. But yeah, he's happy to be here. Great to see you got the win. You're going to the final. Cool. Can't wait to see who you're going to go against.
Thank you.
Rain, that's never a good thing. No sign of it up here in the commentary box, that's for sure. But Rusty, what's the story?
Yeah, guys, I can tell you exactly what's going on. You're right about the haze. There is the faintest of faint mists that is just falling on Sydney Dragway at the moment. To be honest with you, it's not much at all. It is barely wetting the ground, but obviously safety is the number one priority here at Sydney Dragway. We can't send a 2,000 horsepower motorcycle down a track when it's not safe to do so. So what we're going to do is just wait this out for a couple of minutes. I don't think it's going to be much at all because looking at the radar, there is actually nothing on the radar whatsoever. It's not showing. So for Chris Matheson, unfortunately, it means there's a fire up, there's a shutdown. That means that they do need to go through a procedure involving just checking the plugs, getting the fuel out of the engine, making sure that when they do fire it up again that they don't have any problems. But not the ideal preparation for Chris Matheson here in this second round race.
Well, unfortunately, Rusty Gregory's prediction of a couple of minutes delay actually stretched into a couple of hours as a light mist of rain kept falling on Sydney Dragway. The track crew, they were frustrated trying to keep it right. But what about this man, Jay Upton? He had a couple of hours to wait to find out whether maybe he was going to be in the final or not, because it was all going to hinge on the performance of Chris Matheson in the third race of round 2. We kept the audience entertained with a little bit of drift, but I have to say a lot of spectators, after a couple of hours of this drizzle, did drift away back home. But in the end, we were ready to go. Race 3, round 2, top bike at the Santo Summer Thunder, Sydney Dragway. Chris Matheson looking to fight his way into a final and maybe just close that gap enough to keep his championship hopes alive.
And now you start talking about the variables on the track conditions, because we've had a couple of hours of nothing happening on the racing surface here at Sydney Dragway. They are a great track crew. They've brought it back up nice and sticky for these guys on these bikes. They need all the traction that they can get, especially the likes of Chris Matheson here as he goes through the burnout procedure. and he will be taking on the nitrous bike of Rod Barchet.
Effectively for Jay Upton to go to the final, I think he needs Barchet to win, because Chris Matheson had maximum points in round 1. So he would have to have a very slow winning ET to give Jay Upton any sort of chance here.
Well, what it works out to be, so if Matheson wins, he has to go quicker than the 13-second elapsed time that Jay Upton ran. Jay Upton ran such a slow ETs because of that belt broke, so he had no drive to get to the finish line. Usually when these bikes launch, there's enough momentum that they'll go quicker than 12, 13 seconds down the track, but when you've got no momentum there and slowing down quite quickly, it does hurt that elapsed time. So if Chris Matheson wins, I could almost bet my house that he's going to be quicker than a 13-second pass.
Rod Barchet will be out there to keep him honest. Big nitro flame and wheel stand for Chris Matheson. Clicks it off early and still runs a 6:08, 3:38 kilometres an hour. And he was shut off about 80 metres before the finish line.
And more, Rob. That was incredible. 6:08. That is one of the quickest passes we've seen a top bike in Australian history. Wow. Look at the crew. They are ecstatic.
6:08, absolutely stunning. Watch this again on replay, and it just carried the front wheel so far. Flame is out with easy 80 metres to go.
What could have been if he stayed under power here in top bike? Chris Matheson, that is phenomenal from the team.
That is the sort of performance we were hoping for after 2-hour delay, Rusty.
And how much is that a testament to this racetrack, that you can come out first run after that rain delay, numerous rain delays, and a 6:08. Graham, you've got a big smile on your face. It's that close. It's so close you can touch it.
So close. We've been so close. I thought the weather had beaten us tonight, but we've just had a really good run. So it got off the line. It went hard.
Sensational. And how nice is this racetrack to race on? It's been great all weekend.
Oh, yeah, the track's good. Yeah, it's just shown it by that run then. We've held up with the rain.
Chris Matheson, you're going through to a final. How does it feel?
Fantastic. Yeah, it was a good run, that one. The guys did a great job on drawing the track and prepping it. We hooked up. So I was a bit nervous whether we'd be able to get the tyre down onto the ground and get down the other end, but we did, so it's good.
Yeah, not a shabby pass too with a 6:08.
Yeah, well, that's close, because quickest we've been here is 6:07. We've got the track record here, so hopefully we can go a little bit better in the final and reset the record.
No worries, good luck.
Thank you. Well done.
What a performance. 100th of a second off his own track record for Chris Matheson. Earns him a spot in the final with lane choice. He's on 56 points, the maximum you can get from 2 rounds. Gavin Spann. That man is so consistent. He is just grabbing points and grabbing points. Jay Upton, this will be expensive for him not to make that championship final. So we've got that coming up, plus all of the Sportsman finals. That's all after the break. Welcome back to Sydney Dragway at the Santo Summer Thunder. We've seen 2 rounds at Top Bike. We've got the finals coming up. But before then, let's have a look at the finals of our sportsman categories. These guys all chasing points in the 400 Thunder Sportsman Series across the country. And we're going to kick off with Pro Extreme.
Yeah, the basic concept of Pro Extreme, it's heads up. First to the finish line wins their race. So don't red light, get to the finish line first and you will win. And it is big horsepower cars because the car in front of us, Greg Sakaridis, this thing can run into that 5-second zone, taking on Genya Bullens in her car.
Yeah, we see turbocharged combination, pro-charged combinations in this Pro Extreme class. And a really exciting thing for the future. I think at this stage, an exhibition category in the 400 Thunder books. but I don't think it's going to be too long before we see it in championship racing. What about this pairing? And that Mustang in particular. That thing is an animal.
He can go 400 kilometres per hour across the finish line there for Sakaridis. Billions has got a tough race here if she wants to get the win. It is heads up, Pro Tree. Sakaridis gets the lead first, but there's big movements both sides of the racetrack. And it's going to be Sakaridis. You could hear him pedaling that car across the finish line. 7:47 to a 7:45. It's a whole shot win for Sakaridis as well, because Billions was actually quicker. But the whole shot for Sakaridis gets the win. 007 on the tree. So close to that perfect light, Rob.
Gina was so loose, got so close to the centre line. Clearly she was trying to get the boost just where she wanted it. And both of those, the term loose as a goose applies on both sides, but it's a win for Sakaridis in a spectacular race, spectacular category.
Next up, we've got the Sportsman final for Super Street. Ray Ross on screen. He'll be taking on Andrew Stathis. Super Street, this is a dial-your-own class, so the drivers here nominate a time. Basically, you've got to get to the finish line first. Don't go under your nominated time, and you will get the win. Of course, leaving with a green light as well.
So 2 Queenslanders doing battle in Sydney, trying to fight out to see who wins the 400 Thunder Gold Christmas tree and who gets the silver.
Andrew Stathis won the last round in Super Street as well, so he's on a bit of a tower at the moment.
Ray Ross has been a Chrysler fan since birth, I think. He's going to be across the line first.
And the win light goes to Andrew Stathis with a 10.77. I think Ray Ross may have broken out by 1/1000th of a second there across the finish line. Let's have a look at the replay. You can see Ray Ross looking over his shoulder across at Andrew Stathis. He had a lot of room there on the stripe, but he took too much and broke out by 1/1000th of a second.
Well, that Charger certainly enjoyed the traction off the start line and might have been what pushed him into that breakout. And it's, a great win for Andrew Stathis.
All right, we're here with Super Street winner here at round number 4 of the 400 Thunder Sportsman Series. Well done, Andrew Stathis.
Thank you, mate.
Gold Christmas tree.
That's me second final in the last 2 weeks, mate. I couldn't be prouder, mate. Great track, great meeting, mate. Bring it back to Queensland. You beauty.
Congratulations, go Queenslander.
You beauty. Queenslander, yeah.
Well, that's a fistful of points for Stathis in 2 events, that is for sure. Now we're into Super Gas. This is an interesting one. It's like a fixed dial-in. All of the races are on a 9.90. We'll call it a dial-in. If you run quicker than that, it's a breakout, just like all our other dial-your-own classes. But the difference here is they are all on 9.90, so there's no handicap start, and they run on a pro tree, Mark.
It's a heads-up race, so the basic gist of it, get to the finish line first, don't run quicker than 9.90 seconds, and you will get the win. It's as easy as that. It looks like Spencer's out of the group there. He's off the throttle. And Panetta gets the... No, he doesn't. Panetta's gone too quick because he's actually red lit by 1/1000th of a second as well. So Graham Spencer gets the win.
Didn't pick up the red light on the live shot, but there it is on the replay. He red lit by 1/1000th of a second. And then he went through too quick and broke out. So he chose 2 ways to lose a race. And in the meantime, we saw the Corvette get very loose. So that's a bit of a get out of jail for him.
But he'll take it anyway. He gets that gold Christmas tree. The winner is with Matt Kavanagh in the braking area.
We're here with Graham Spencer. He's our Super Gas winner here, round number 4 of the Sportsman Series. Well done.
Thank you very much for that. I'd like to thank all my opponents and the track staff and everybody else who's here this weekend to make this fantastic racetrack work. It's been a godsend this weekend. I'm puffed.
It's amazing how out of breath a racer can get after a 9-second race. You know, it doesn't sound like a marathon, but the heart rate is right up there as we go into Super Sedan final. Ennio Morocco is taking on Leo Georges. I love this little Ford Escort panel van.
Yeah, this thing is Georges. He's going all right in Super Sedan lately in this car, picking up some wins here and there. Morocco, this is going to be a tough race.
Not much handicap in it.
Georges is trying to chase down Morocco. You can see Morocco looking over.
And Morocco, the whole shot was his. 007 on the lights, uses a 917 to beat a 911, and he will claim the Super Sedan Gold Christmas tree at the Santo Summer Thunder.
Yeah, there wasn't much in it there on the reaction times. You can see Morocco looking, trying to close that race up. Does a perfect drive job on the finish line to get the win.
There's two ends of a racetrack when you're doing dial your own racing. You've got to judge the reaction time and the breakout at the end, and he's done that beautifully, Matt.
And now, Morocco, you got yourself a win in Super Sedan here tonight, round 4 of the Sportsman Championship. Well done.
Yep, thank you very much. It is well deserved. We've tried hard all weekend. You know, we all know we had testing conditions yesterday. I just can't thank the track crew enough. They've done an amazing job. All the officials, IHRA, 400 Thunder, Sydney Dragway, best drag strip in Australia. And my crew, Frank, thanks for all the time and all your help. Darren Nicolay and his crew, Chris Theo and his family, and Olga, special thank you for those beautiful reps that you made me for lunch. Thank you very much.
All right, next final up, we've got modified bike on screen. Brian Alvizio from Queensland. He's dialing in at 9.19 seconds. He'll be taking on another Queenslander, Mick Mundy. Mundy's bike's a little bit slower, dialing in at 10.96 seconds, so he'll get a second head start on Alvizio before he starts the chase.
Well, Mick Mundy, his Sports Turf Services business, they sponsor a whole drag bike team. They sponsor the categories up at Willowbank Raceway. And it's great to see a guy that invests so much in the sport make it to the final here at the Santo Summer Thunder. He's got to try and make that handicap start last, because here comes Alvizio.
Alvizio's already up. He's looking over, backing off. And he gets the win, runs a 9.26 with a 1:02 reaction time. Mundy goes 1:43, 11:03 on his 10.96 dial-in for the loss. He gets runner-up. Brian Alvizio will be the Santo Summer Thunder modified bike champion here on a great pass. Closed the brace up on the finish line. He'll be one extremely happy rider.
Let's have another look at this replay. There's Mick, gets out ahead, hanging the right foot. That's his style. But Alvizio judged this perfectly, avoided any chance of the breakout across the line, and he will get the gold.
I'm here with Brian Alvizio, modified bike winner here, round number 4 at the Sportsman Series. Well done, mate. Got yourself a gold Christmas tree.
Thank you, mate. This has been a long time coming. I actually printed one of these and laminated it and sat it next to my TV, and I was never going to move it until I got a real one to replace it with, so it goes in the bin tonight.
What a great story for Brian Alvizio as we move into modified eliminator. This is dial your own category for, well, open wheel vehicles basically. We're talking dragsters, alters, hot rods, and some quick cars in this category, that is for sure.
And when you're talking quick, one of the quickest on screen, Chris Makes. This ultra runs into the 6-second zone. He'll be taking on the dragster of Peter Brown in the other lane. Both these guys are very tough races in modified. Definitely drivers you don't want to come up beside in round 1 if you're looking over in the other lane. You can see Peter Brown's drags here moving forward. He's dialed at 7.59 seconds, so he will leave first. Half a second later, the altered of Chris Manx will start the chase.
Yeah, Brown, a very experienced modified racer, has been around the Sydney drag racing scene for literally decades. But Max, man, has he got a fast car, and he's going to try and use that to run him down in the finish line. Track conditions here, despite the rain earlier, I can't believe how good this racetrack is.
Brown's in full stage, waiting on Manx now to bring that altered in. Both lead with clean greens. We've got a race. The dragster's out in front. The altered's getting loose. Brown shoots out, gets the win, goes 7.66, coupled with a 0.06. That is a great package there for Peter Brown. But Manx in the altered, he got loose, had to button it off.
0.06 reaction time. The front wheels of the dragster left the start line just 0.06 of a second after the green light came on. That was always going to make it hard for Manx. But then the altered got one wheel out of the groove into the not so good traction near the centre line, and it was all over from there. Brown was able to run down, and he's with Matt Kavanagh.
Peter Brown, you're a winner here in the modified section for the 400 Thunder Sportsman Series. You get yourself a gold Christmas tree. How's it feel?
Oh, it feels awesome. Thank you very much.
Got a lot of people to thank today, my crew. Nathan, he's been here all day. He's missed out on cricket. He's missed out on a party going to, but he wanted me to win this, so I'm dedicating this to him. My wife's here, friend Nicole, sponsors, Sims Integrated Solutions, BK Race Engines, great bracket engine, and especially the officials here. They put up with a whole heap of high temperatures yesterday. They've done an awesome job. The weather today, thank you very much.
We now move into Top Sportsman. This is a sedan category for cars running 8.99 seconds or quicker. They also nominated time slot to dial your own class as well. We can see Stephen Fowler on screen there. He's dialing at 6.90 seconds. And this Pontiac GXP, he'll be taking on Paul Doblain in the other lane in the Ford Ute.
Yeah, you see the number 1 on the side of Fowler's car. That's there for a reason. He's the reigning Australian champion in this Top Sportsman category. Doblain, down from Queensland. He calls Willowbank Raceway his home track and is a very competitive racer up there.
He's dialing in 8.6 seconds in that ute, so he'll be leaving first. 1.7 seconds later, we will see the car of Fowler chase him down. Both these cars in pre-stage. No one wants to go into full stage here. A little bit of a staging duel here in the final of Top Sportsman. Doblain's in. He's ready to go.
Mind games in Top Sportsman. It's all about that reaction time. Doblain, he leaves. Away goes Fowler. Look at the top speed closing of the Pontiac. Who got there?
It's Stephen Fowler, 6.92 seconds there across the finish line. He wins Top Sportsman for Santo Summer Thunder. Great reaction time as well. Doblain was strong beside him, but wasn't enough to stop the New South Welshman.
The reaction time advantage was what gave it to Fowler in the end, but the closing speed's amazing.
You can't pick it, can you? Across the finish line, you see Doblain gets out, but the Pontiac power there comes across the finish line. He gets the win. Our winner, Stephen Fowler, in the braking area with Matt Kavanagh.
Steve Fowler, congratulations. You're defending number 1 here in the Top Sportsman. Round 4 win. How does it feel?
Mate, honestly, I couldn't be happier. Look, the car's just been perfect all weekend. The crew's been spot on all weekend. It's just been one of those weekends where everything's just went 100% to plan and we couldn't put a foot out of place. So, mate, I'm absolutely stoked. So, leading it like number 1 and we're on top of the championship as well. So, couldn't be happier.
Can't do much more than that. Well, here's another Australia 1 coming forward. This is in Comp Bike Eliminator.
These guys race on a handicap national record system. So these guys in competition bike, it is basically whoever gets to the finish line first without red lighting wins the race.
Yeah, no breakouts in this category. As you say, they are handicapped against the national record for their class.
It's Colin on screen, running on the B-altered bike with a national record of 7.99 seconds. Ken Collin now on screen. He's running an A-altered bike with a national record of 7.89 seconds. So Chris will leave first by 1/10 of a second. Both bikes out. Chris wheel up on his bike. He's got his dad coming back around him though. The national champion gets the win. Ken Collin on his A-altered bike runs an 8.24 at 256 kilometres per hour. Chris Collin goes 8.44 in runner-up.
You can't do much better than father and son in a final. And, hey, age, experience and cunning will beat youthful exuberance most times, and that's what it's done. Our winner in comp bike is Ken Collins.
Ken Collin, you've got the win here in competition bike. How does it feel tonight?
Oh, it's great, thank you very much. And the best part was racing my son here tonight as well and him getting runner-up.
Yeah, fantastic to have the family racing. So you got some sponsors on board?
Yep, Rascal Race Engines is our main sponsor. Ken Peaty up in Gladstone builds the best Hayabusa engines there are. Thank you.
Supercharged Outlaws, our final sportsman final of the Santo Summer Thunder. There is El Shaka Jr. in the Lamborghini up against Michael Watkins. Hey, a bit of concern around this car.
Yeah, you can see one of the Sydney Dragway track officials here telling Watkins to back up.
There's a leak out of that car. There was some fluid forward by the look of it. And look at the size of that pool. The crew don't like it. I think they're saying it's fuel or something. The bottom line is that's too much. There's only one winner in that argument. It'll be the guy in the official shirt. And once you've been told to shut down, that's it. So it will be Alf Shacker to get the win in this amazing supercharged Outlaws Lamborghini.
It's never the way you want to win one, but you know what? A gold Christmas tree is going to take it no matter what here, Alf Sharker. He gets the freebie, he gets the win, he gets the green light, takes his Lamborghini down the race surface here at Sydney Dragway. You can see the shift light on there inside the cockpit. He goes 712, 312 kilometres per hour. Alf Sharker Jr., Supercharged Outlaws winner here at Sydney Dragway for the Santo Summer Thunder.
Yeah, well, the good news for Alf is also the fact that that's 100 points in the Supercharged Outlaws 400 Thunder Sportsman Championship, and it's also a gold Christmas tree from Matt Kavanagh.
Oh, I've got him down here. He's our Supercharged winner here for Supercharged Outlaws. How's it feel, buddy?
Yeah, good. Not the way I like to win it. I wanted Mick there next to me. I really wanted him next to me. I was actually happy he was in the final, but yeah, we made it. Newlon, Power Plus, iCombi, we're all here. So we'll have a go, and that's what happens.
Well, you got one of the brightest cars in the field, and I'm sure you got plenty of help down there, so we'll get back to the pits and celebrate.
Worries. Thanks, mate. Thanks, Western Sydney. Thanks.
Very happy winner there in Supercharged Outlaws, that is for sure. But here at Sydney Dragway, unfortunately, you see red flashing lights up there at the start line. That is because we have had to bring racing to a halt. There's been a very serious accident in another category, and you see Jay Upton's bike being pushed away there. We're not going to be able to run round 3 and the championship final of Top Bike. That means that all of those races will be given the minimum number of points they could have won if that round had happened. So in other words, they'll get lose points for whatever category. And there's the upshot. Jay Upton has hung on to his championship lead with 241 points, but Gavin Spann has closed it up even further with that consistent performance on the Noodle Box bike. Chris Matheson's back in the hunt with 204 points. Then it's Adam Layton on 126. Holden, Barchet, Wood and Dwinger round out the top 8. Next time we're going to see is at Willowbank Raceway on April 19. It's Good Friday. What a way to spend Easter. The Santo Super Thunder with Top Fuel, Top Bike, Pro Alcohol and Pro Stock. Then, of course, we got the Gulf Western Oil Nitro Thunder, May 3rd and 4th, back here at Sydney Dragway. All of the professional categories of 400 Thunder drag racing taking part. Then the big one, the Gulf Western Oil Winter Nationals at Ipswich in Queensland, Willowbank Raceway. It is the final round of the 400 Thunder Championship for every category from junior dragster right up to the top fuelers. We do have one more category of racing to bring you from the Santo Summer Thunder at Sydney Dragway. Next time we see you, it's going to be Pro Slammer. Make sure you join us then on 400 Thunder.